so welcome to this little yoga flow. We're going to start off right at the end of the mat, any of the mat in front of us. We're going to stand tall, really connect to the floor with those feet, engaging through those stomach muscles. Start off with our hands by our sides. Then just taking a nice deep breath in and out. We're then going to bring these hands above the head, in breath as we do that. And then out breath as our arms go wide, slight bend on these legs. And then bring the hands down, just over the toes. Little stretch into the lower back and hamstrings here. And lifting up into half forward fold, bringing the hands to the top of the shins, lengthening through that spine, looking slightly forward to give us a nice straight back, and then a forward fold back down. Then from here, just walking the hands forwards, letting the heels lift, and just finding a nice downward facing dog. It's like bend on these legs, bringing the chest and the stomach towards the thighs. Just take a moment here to breathe. Maybe a little pedal out on these legs. And then from here we're going to lift that right foot, take a nice big stride forward with that right foot, and then just rest the left knee down. Grounding into this right foot, we lift the chest away from the thigh, take these arms out wide and then eventually above the head. Maybe take a little lean back, just looking slightly up, holding here for a moment as we breathe. And then bringing our hands down. As we do that, take our weight back, lift the foot, just keep the heel down, point the toes, hands either to the thigh or hands to the floor. Try and find a little bit of length through the spine as we find a hamstring stretch there. Then we move our weight forwards, sole of the foot down, both hands down, tucking the toes under that back foot, push that heel away, and slowly we start to bring ourselves up into our high lunge, hands to the hips initially, and then up above the head. Ground into those feet. Find length through those natural curves of the spine. And then we're going to turn that back foot to 45 degrees. Keep this front foot pointing forward, and let's take these arms out wide. Front leg bends, back leg is fairly straight, ground into that back edge of the foot, and looking down that middle finger into our warrior two. Continue to breathe as we hold this position, in through the nose, out through the nose. We're then going to bring forearm onto the thigh. This back arm comes up and over, so the bicep towards the ear. I'm just feeling a nice stretch from the back heel all the way up through the ribcage to the fingertips. Bringing ourselves back up to a warrior two. This time back hand comes to the thigh. Keep this front leg bent, hand above the head. Look up and we find this reverse warrior. Arms back into our warrior two now. Starting to feel these legs here. Just really ground into the floor with those feet. Now we're going to pivot on this back foot, start to bring this back hip round. And we either do a little tap here and come all the way up, or we do that all in one movement and we just bring the knee towards the hips. And we hold a little bit of balance, prepping for our warrior three. We're taking our weight forward, pushing that back foot out as far away as you can go. Hands either to the hips, out wide, or out in front of you if you want to. Just find that little bit of balance for a moment, then slowly starting to come up to standing. Bring those feet together about hip width, hinge the hips, arms out in front, into our chair position now. Breathe as we hold this position, start to feel that heat building in the legs. Now straighten those legs, hands above the head, arms go wide, we swan dive down, bringing that chest towards the thighs. And taking a moment there. Hands then down to the mat, right foot big stride back, left foot big stride back. We find our plank position here. Push those heels away. If you need to, you can go to the knees. Engage into that core as we lower slowly down. Rest the stomach down on the mat, flatten off those feet, pull these elbows back, hands under the shoulders, and just take a gentle lift. Not straightening those arms, but just finding a back bend, enough for you. And then lower slowly back down. We took the toes underneath. We lift the hips, we lift the chest, send the bum into the air into our downward facing dog again. Maybe have a little pedal of those legs there. And now we're going to take the left foot forward, big stride forward towards that left hand, right knee down, flatten off that back foot. And then from here, lifting ourselves up to a more of an upright position, then hands above the head, very slight lean back, grounded into that left foot. All the time breathing as we hold these positions, never holding our breath. And then we're going to take these hands down. As we do that, take our weight back and we straighten this front leg. Toes up towards the ceiling. Hands are either just to the thigh or we can take them down to the floor, whatever feels good for you. Hold that hamstring stretch for a moment. And then moving our weight forward, weight onto the sole of the foot again there. Both hands down to the floor. Took the toes underneath, lift that back knee, push that heel away. And now we start to bring ourselves all the way up with control to our high lunge. Hands then above the head. Very slight bend of that back knee. Keep that back heel lifted. Ground into this front foot. And just take your time to move from that position to a 45-degree angle with that back foot. And we take our move now into our warrior two. Bend on that front leg. Very grounded in, can we make that a little bit deeper? This left forearm comes to the left thigh. Now make sure we're not holding all our weight into that side, but then we're bringing this arm over. So we're still holding some tension through the torso to keep ourselves fairly lifted. And then slowly back to our warrior two. Arms long and strong. Keep that front leg bent. Back hand now comes to the back thigh. Turn that palm over and then leaning back to our reverse warrior. Bringing it back to warrior two once more. Melting a little deeper into this if we can. Now we're going to rotate, pivot on this back foot, bring this back hip round. Option to try and come all the way through or just a little tap so that we then find this position where we have the knee at the height of the hip. Option to stay there if you want to, or we push that leg back. Hands, hips, side or out in front. Push that heel away, find some balance. Keep breathing. And then slowly start to bring ourselves up, and as we do that, place that foot gently down and find this chair position. Sit back, maybe a little bit lower this time. Deep breath. In breath as we come all the way up to the top, out breath as we swan dive down. And push that left foot slowly back, and then the right foot, find plank position here. Pull these elbows in, remember knees down if you need to. Chaturanga slowly down. Flatten off those feet, and find a half cobra. And breathe. Lowering the chest down, tucking the toes underneath, letting the hips lift, then the chest push back, and find the downward facing dog. And slowly walking these hands up into our forward fold. And then bringing the hands to the top of the shins, lengthening through the spine as we look right to the top end of the mat. And then slowly back down. Nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let's take these arms out wide, all the way to the ceiling. In breath as our hands just come down by our sides now. And let's take 2 more breaths here to finish.